Memo Bibia Kwaba Eba Melodies TV. So I'll be bringing you some stories on Alban Bagbin today. Ne enkrata wa ma lawyers etroye e de koma parliament no. Me ba bekan. But Alban Bagbin akasa said this week wa trendy ye after informing the Supreme Court say mo decision na mo deba no enye ha enye ade aye beso mende ochena ka ho ene nsensem no. Asanso akasa uti asemu a wokan wo say parliament shouldn't be taken for granted. Nti Alban Bagbin nsemu a wokan say ma enye wobi say ebia wo mo otumi esen parliament nti no ase de omo bebu mu ni e de omo obe han ni no dia odini ase odina ho ni aba betena na parliament so dabi omo mpene parliament should never be taken for granted. Yen kenkan yen hwede nti Alban Bagbin no kasa nsem wi o say the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, has emphasized that legislature is a vital institution in governance. According to him, the House should not be taken for granted as it serves as the mirror of Ghana's democracy. He said this at the commissioning of the Job 600 building in Accra on Tuesday, October 29th. Not just Andrea, na omoye commissioning ewo Accra. Or the film at the Kasai. Now, if you understand Ghana any politics, you see politicians use a commissioning of projects and then outdoor programs to respond to issues. Okay, if you understand, when the internal president Akufo to make a program here, no akwako to be Mahama. That is the nature. Mahama so yeah program here, no to be way. Internal politicians no one forum they answer critics no. Nti Alban Bagbin now work commissioning of Job 600 building. Nti odu ho no eno hu ne say asem we member abontem ekasa nti ma me fan yusu na me fan tre Ghana for na me kan se me tre Ghana for any judiciary ne obia say mama onye mo ho say mo betina parliament ni je so muntumi nye sa ade no. I say if the people are to benefit from democratic governance, it is the parliament. So say Ghana for ebenya jidie ana ebenya mfaso bi Africa bi ma menke bi aban ama ana amemu emu a e parliament na ehya ase efri, which is the mirror of democracy. That is the focus. That should be strengthened because apart from lawmaking, it is parliament that has the only function of oversight, and it is parliament that should ensure that our collective efforts in terms of energy, in terms of resources, in terms of trust, is appropriately applied to the benefit of everyone, he said. Now, what you have someone about Bagbin, he is right. He's not lying. I say, apart from lawmaking, say parliament, parliament, also a function as oversight. Now, ye kase parliament function as oversight on other way are. And no na okuja to abla kwa woye no. Say bia obi akwa ko sign deal bi we Ghana. And am parliament so say parliament ebe konsem ni mu ni ehu say asumesi obenten nti edu say wo say ye friend nipa kro no na ye de ne ba parliament committee ni ma wo say ye friend de ba intiana ohia public accounts committee a omutumi kofre eye SHS teachers ana SHS headmasters kra say sikedi a wo mo spend no omomra me account e wo parliament what you say because parliament na ejuma no omuni na parliament na dey sade na show monsa oversight enti say judiciary ni bi ekokodi boni a parliament na obeba na because you see, and what Alban Bagbin is saying is the truth. Parliament is more like the mirror of democracy in the sense say a representation of the real people. The executive and the likes, no. It is only the president and Ghana for to Obama no. Until oko the executive is the president is the only representation of the people. But what parliament for now, aside the speaker, every single member of parliament is a representation of the people. Until you can't Ghana for a voice pana like your parliament any jina. Because a honor will be a house on your tone swaba. Executive no president never selected assume si chief of staff president ebe select all the other people oni ombe yedwuma president spend yeto ne so aba oko judiciary ne nso a enya Ghana for ne yeto judiciary for no aba president na select nti no enya representation of the people, but the real representation of the people no parliament. Nti asemo Alban Bagbin aka ne de no kware ni no, and that is the truth. Also speaking at the event, Mr. Bagbin indicated that Parliament embodies the principles of representation, just as I'm saying, accountability and governance, reflecting the people's voice and holding the government accountable to the public. So strengthening Parliament is not just the duty of Parliament, but of everybody, and we have to work together to make sure that our people don't suffer and struggle to elect us in vain. So what I say, yeni na wase yede ahondin boom niema parliament enya jinabia enya ahondin ejina. And we know, I mean, he didn't one body but minim say a shade and a wo through one body in there, and so minim say a shade a wo through ama the judiciary, because yen na wase yena parliament ejina ne na so na mo de mo bana mo be trese mo ahondin sinyan ewe he. How can you see democracy for the people, by the people, and the for the people? That's the simplest definition for democracy, right? So how can you, the judiciary, want to use your will and impose your will on the parliament? As I said, the speaker also called on stakeholders and Ghanaians to uphold and respect the institution's role in shaping the nation's democratic framework while urging the strengthening of parliament in all its departments. One body in there, now see your name, Alban Bagbin, and Akufo. I think say what Alban Bagbin is saying is right. Listen, a lot of people are saying say this current parliament is the worst parliament we've ever had. For me, I think otherwise. I think that this current parliament is the best parliament we've had. And the reason why I'm saying, and I say, for a long time in the history of this country, parliament has just become a rubber stamp. Okay? And I'll always refer to this because so far it is the only book I have read. Anipa Chrono okoye interview with parliamentarians no omo feel free the partisan politics eto nchen ekasa with their hearts Manase Azori in the book no. I really appreciate if TV stations and radio stations omo parliamentary correspondence ebetro book on parliament are the things that goes on, or the things that go on in parliament. Now my Ghana for yeni na yati asiye na kameni beje pan. I'm not going to lie to you. Na ko bibe tumia yesade na kameni beje. But so far the only book I can refer to, because it's the only book I've read that talks extensively about parliament and the dealings. Who read him as a book now, you get an idea of what really goes on in parliament. Are they Ghana for baby na enim? So I'm always going to refer to that book. Manase Azori in the book no. I'm always going to refer to that book. Okwa kinkan sa book na. Even the parliamentarians at Manase Azori interview they admitted say parliament ababedane rubber stamp of the executive. Enti the executive person oye bia na no ane say or the aba parliament say ebeboa Ghana fo abadna ki ye hwa parliament is a representation of Ghanaians. Omo wo ho no mo represent yen. Enti nanka de yen ye pe no ene wo se omo ye enye the executive and enye the president pe. And that is the true nature of parliament. Kadie yen ye pe. Enti e bia yesi ye be pass e-levy. Nanka parliamentarian bia na kone constituency. E de na mo filie fa e-levy ho. O se yempe. Ghana phone na se yempe. Na no executive no person pass kra na parliamentarian say that we are a representation of the people. This is what the people are saying. That is what true democracy is. And we have never experienced any form, any of that situation in this country until this parliament by omobenya hang parliament and no mahon ye pe. Normally no ayana majority no, they are always bulldozing their way through. But this parliament by no and mahon de mbabe ye pe. Into some of the things can answer na MPP for be so me pass and omebre some of the things can gets rejected. And so for anyone who say this is the worst parliament ever, it is because the person was expecting parliament to become a rubber stamp. But parliament did not become a rubber stamp. This parliament, CSE can't near person Ghana ekosu ye pan. Nanka the nature of our parliament, nanka san and kawase ye. Parliament, senya ayano, kasan and kawase ye. Yese Ghana bekoso pan. Anyway, mo try mo adwo comment box ni mo. That's it.